something a little bit different for our tech tip. Wanted to talk a little bit about lawyers and artificial intelligence and chat GPT. And I've got with us today our attorney, Greg Barwell, who, where are you at, Greg?
Hey, thanks, Blake. We're here in Columbus, Ohio.
And what kind of law do you do?
We do everything from business litigation, information technology, and business consulting.
Great. Yeah, and so you've helped us to redo our agreements so that, they actually hold up and, are legitimate agreements. I think early on I took an agreement from a book or some template from somewhere and figured that was good enough. And it definitely is not. But I was at a event last week, and someone brought up that artificial intelligence and chat GPT is going to really harm the attorney world, the legal industry. And, I've been playing with chat GPT, and sure enough, I can go in there and have it write me a new master service agreement that sounds pretty good, isn't it? Or is it not? I mean, why can't I just now go in and it does a great job writing all sorts of things for me?
Well, Blake, you bring up a good point, and at first I was a little concerned about the chat GPT and looking at how it's going to impact our business, how it's going to impact my clients, my current clients and my future clients. And as the way I always look at it, I go way back to this advice that I took from a CPA, and he was a friend of mine. He was in another peer group with me, and he kept on asking me, "Let me do your taxes. Let me do your taxes." And I said, "No. Look, John, it's all covered. I go through the turbo tax and things like that, and put all the information in and spits it out." He goes, "Look, let me just take a look at it." Sure did. Comes back and he says, "You owe me dinner because I saved you $8,000 on your taxes." He did the same thing for prior tax as well. What it taught me then at that clear point in time is, look, I'm good at what I do. I practice law. I look at things to protect my clients on their legal issues. He's good at doing CPA. Chat GPT is only good enough for one thing: what you put into the system. So let's take an example of you want to do your new trust agreement for your family. Do you know what to ask Chat GPT to put in there to make sure it spits it out? Or do you want to just roll the dice and take your chance? And I guess once you're dead, it doesn't really make a difference, but it does make a difference if you're in business, because the document might look good, but you don't know what you're missing. You don't know exactly what is in that contract to tell you, no, this is bad. This is not what you want, or you have a legal landmine that you're going to step into if this happens. So those are the things that happens with ChatGPT. I tried it myself. I just went in there thinking I don't know anything, and in there on a bankruptcy issue, because I don't know bankruptcy, and it spit something out that looks good. But then I went in there and did the same thing. I went in and typed in master service agreement. I need a master service agreement for my clients. I run a small managed service provider computer company, and I need an agreement to give to my clients. And it spit out something for me. And you can try it as well. It looks good, but it doesn't cover half the things that we're even looking forward to. And I'm sure if you send it off to your insurance carrier, they're going to tell you difference as well. So that's the whole point. I mean, Chat GPT or any of the other whatever's out there that's spitting this out, it may look good, it may feel good, but how do you know it's exactly what you need? And that's exactly what it is. You don't know what it is until you're into it. And you don't want to be too late into it, because at that point, you might be on the wrong end of the lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's if you're alive, right? So, and you're right. I mean, a couple words, and I think you found some stuff in our master service agreement that could be very detrimental. Not necessarily getting sued, but terms of contract and when it ends and the termination and stuff like that. So it was definitely what I had looked good. It felt good. Thankfully, it never caused me big pains, but having it explained, the details that I was missing and the risk that it put me at was great. Now, as far as being dead and having your trust, I agree with you. You may not care if you're dead. You're down there, feeding worms or whatever. But I think you had a great story. I think, you get your trust built out and you got everything that feels good. You think you got your kids in there, but hopefully you care about your kids, because if your trust or your will or whatever's not right, and then your spouse, what was your example? The spouse dies when they're coming to see you in the funeral home, and then.
Good, very, very good point. It was the example, Blake, with my client has his new wife. It's her second marriage. She has 2 children from another marriage who are both under the age of 18. One's 10, one's 12. And the ex-husband is not the greatest of a person. My client is very successful, and I asked him, because someone in our trust department here in the law firm went ahead, drafted him a beautiful trust to protect his interests and make sure that his child with his new wife is taken care of, and that the other 2 would be taken care of. And I asked him, I said, hey, Joe, I got the trust agreement, but I didn't see it signed because I didn't get the paperwork to go ahead and transfer the business's interest into it. He goes, oh, I know, I didn't get it done yet. I said, well, let me give you a scenario. If you and your wife are traveling in the car today, you get in a car accident, you die, and your wife hangs on for one day and then she dies. Do you know that your nemesis that you say, the ex-husband, he's going to get 2/3 of your money right now to control? Silence on the other silence. And at that moment in time, he was in my office the next day signing his papers, because that's exactly what could have happened. Because again, no one knows until you lay it out and you run those examples with everybody. So yeah, it's painful to go ahead and write the check to an attorney. But if you're diligent about what you're doing, you go to get good counsel. They're going to explain it to you, what you're getting, why you're getting it, and how it's going to protect you. If you tell someone, these are my wishes, we're going to make sure it gets done. But sometimes you don't know exactly what it is. Just like in the terms of a legal contract for the master service agreement, there are changes that we see all the time. So I pick up the phone. I'm calling you. As another example, we talked about another contract that we're going to be doing with co-managed services. You wouldn't know about that unless I called you about it. ChatGPT is not going to call you about it and tell you, hey, by the way, go and do this because this is going to protect you, or changes in the law that happen. So I go on this premise. I look at businesses. When we're dealing with businesses, you should be spending anywhere between 5 and 10% of your budget with professional services. And that was the old one I was looking at, because now we have what you do today is the information technology. And now that's got to be included into that figure as well. And businesses should be spending that kind of money every year with all the professionals to keep out the bad guys from your information, protect yourself from mistakes that you might make or your employees might make, and make sure you got the best tax advice possible. So my advice, get out there, get the professionals that you need, not a computer. The computer's not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah. And I think it's good maybe to start playing around with, but it's scary trying to rely on it to give you the exact information that you need. And thankfully you guys are out there. We survived long enough before we engaged with you. And but in hindsight, I was a bit more exposed than I should have been. So appreciate you taking care of us. So if you want to do something on ChatGPT, do it, maybe to get you to a starting point, maybe get you to ask the questions to your attorney or your CPA or another professional. Use it like that. Use it as a tool, but don't put out something that you're going to have trust 110%. It's just not there. So use it to kind of gather my ideas, my thoughts, what I might want to do. And then it's okay to dump that out as a file and send it over to you and say, hey, Greg, what do you think of this? This is what I'm trying to do. But
absolutely. start the conversation. It gets us all talking in different areas.
That's awesome.
Different things to look at, but protection-wise, right.
Awesome. So if anybody out there is watching this and goes, okay, I guess I do need to talk to an attorney, how do they find you?
If it's for what I cover, you find me at wesplaw.com.
Okay.
And then they can click on our website and find me directly. Give me a call, shoot me an email, electronic as well, and we can get in and chat with them about what they might need for their businesses.
Great. And what's the practice?
It is WESP, WESP, not the direction west.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate what you've done for us. You guys have done great by us. So, and you guys you take clients all over the country in business and in IT.
Yes, we do, Blake.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I thank you very much for your time and everything else. So
Hey, you have a great day too. Thank you.